And those vocabulary terms are quantitative data versus qualitative data. All right, I'm going to give you examples of each, but quantitative is something you can measure in numbers. Something that is measurable in numbers. So let me give you an example, and then you guys can take it from here. Somebody's height would be considered quantitative. It can be measured, and the result would be a number. Others, obviously, I'll just put it down, but go ahead and say it. If you can do height, weight, yes, would be quantitative. Others, and this is really out in the open here. There's a lot you could tell me. Age. What do you mean? Here you go. Here's what I wrote down. Number of miles ran. Okay? Number of miles ran. Can be measured, and you would report your results as a number. All right, I think we're good there. Oh, go ahead, Caitlin, sure. Minutes, yep. Time, right? Qualitative. Could be measured, but not in a number. Your results would not be a number. Or it might be an opinion. Let me start you off, and then you guys can add something. Ready? Favorite color. I could ask everyone what their favorite color is, and you would give me an answer, but it's not. I'm not going to report it back as numbers. Your last name. Again, can't be reported back in numbers. What if my last name was 3? Okay, you got me there. Anything else you want to add? Sure.
Well, more question actually. So you said number of miles ran. You said it like 3 miles. You said I ran from point like.
Still, you can still measure it though. You can still measure it. Okay. We all good? Yes, Emma.
What if you're taking like favorite colors and you only have 2, so they have to like pick between the 2? Then technically wouldn't you have numbers?
But still purple or red. Okay, still purple or red. All right, so what can we do with all these numbers from a quantitative set of numbers? We can graph that. This is called a dot plot, everybody. A dot plot. Specifically, it's a dot plot for Charlie's Food Factory. Here are the 28 ages for the workers that are there. All right, 28 ages. Can you answer some questions for me? How many of the workers are 18 years old? This is just reading the dot plot now. How many of the workers are 18 years old? All right, let's hear some voices now. Here you go, 9. How many are 18 years old? Just 4, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, yep. Ooh, what is the range? Let's talk about that word right now, range. You guys have probably found that in the past. Anybody want to give me a way to find the range of a set of numbers? Anybody know that one, or is this new to you guys? New to you? Perfect. All right, the range is the max value minus the minimum value. In this case, oldest minus youngest. Okay, it's the max minus the min value. All right, so read it. What's the max and the min age working at the factory? 10 max age? Not here? Thank you. Here you go, 3 max age. 42 minimum age. 16. So the range of ages is 26. Would you consider this symmetric? Meaning even on both sides here? Absolutely not. Why are you not? Because where are there more? To the left. A lot more to the left. A lot more to the left. Okay, if I had everyone type in all the ages and divide by, how many are there? 28, we'd get the average is 22. The average age of a person that works at the factory is 22. Why is this not representative of a typical worker? Why is 22 years old not really representative here? Caitlin, what do you think?
Because they included the bigger numbers in the
Everyone go to 22 on the dot plot. How many workers are 22? So how's that really representative of everyone if only one worker is 22 and you're telling me the average worker is 22? Okay, does everyone see that? 1, 2. There's only one person there. That's 22. All right, so only one worker. Is 22. Well, most workers are younger. Okay. So you're telling me average worker's 22, but most of them aren't 22. So, questions? All right, this is one way I could display the ages. The other way is in a histogram. Take a look at the histogram, connected bar graph. Connected bar graph. So using that bar graph, how many are between 19 and 21? All right, how many are between 19 and 21? 27, how many are between there? No 27 today? No, thank you. How about 25? 11 workers, yeah. All right, and there's no right or wrong answer here. What do you think there's a disadvantage of a histogram compared to a dot plot? Why would this put us at a disadvantage using this versus the dot plot above? And I'll hear anything. Emma, start. Go ahead. That's a big thing. You're not getting individual ages, right? You're getting a range of ages. Yep, that does not show individual ages. That's the big one. Just shows, like you say 16 to 18. Well, how many 16s, how many 17s, how many 18s are there? Is there any advantage to using a histogram over a dot plot? Is there any advantage? Go ahead, Matt. Yeah. So by the bars themselves, you can tell where. And also, because they're in groups, everyone agree very easily. If I said how many are 21 and under, you could find that out pretty quickly. Versus the dot plot where you're going to go, everyone agree? Okay. So there are advantages to grouping them in ranges. So that's really the only advantage of a histogram over the dot plot is now you can tell me how many are 24 and above, etc. Okay. Ready to do your own histogram? Okay. Lot of detail you got to pay attention to on here. A lot of detail. So this is the boys varsity basketball team. This is how many points they scored each game in 20 games. What I need you to do first, do not touch the graph. Go through right now. By the way, I thought about this yesterday while I was doing these notes. You guys know what a tally is? Okay, I didn't know if that was too old school for you youngins or not. So, okay. All right. What I usually do, just so you guys know to keep track, here's how I usually do it. Works out pretty well. 76, tally, cross it out. I already did it. Okay, so I never have to, did I do it already? All right. So what I want you guys to do, tally it all up. Check with people in your group. Make sure you got the same number frequency as everyone else in your group. And your frequency should add up to 20. Once you have your tallies and your frequency, go ahead and take a look up at mine. Just make sure we are going to be doing the same values. Are we okay? Going. Okay, there are some things you need on a histogram, which yes, I'm going to be very, very picky about. If you look at the histogram from Charlie's food factory on the previous page we just worked at, before I start graphing any bars, what do you think I'm going to ask you to do right away? Label the axes and put a title on it. I'm not going to be picky about the title, but there's got to be a title on it. On the y-axis, there's no discussion about it. It's got to be frequency. On your x-axis, what are you measuring the frequency of? Again, I'm not going to be picky on the wording. Just make sure you get the point across. Total, like I put total points scored each game. If you just want to write total points, guys, I'm not going to, all right, go nuts about that. I need labels, though. And you need a title, too. What is the graph showing? What is this graph about to show us? Points score. I put points scored by the team. Again, if you want to get really super, super detailed, fine. But I just need something that summarizes what this is, what this graph is going to show. So before you even touch anything, label your axes. All right, we ready to go with the bars now? Okay, here's the problems we're going to run into. Does the point scored, is it close to 0 at all? What's the lowest point scored here? What's the lowest range? 40 to 49, right? Well, there's a problem, though, because my graph starts at 0. And I got to go by the same interval every time. So I would need to show a blank for 0 to 9. I would need a blank from 10 to 19. Do you see what I'm saying? Eventually, I cannot start from 40 to 49. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put, anybody ever seen a break in your graph? Maybe science class or whatever? Okay, so a break, basically, it's going to take up 2 units on the x-axis, and it looks like a heart monitor at the hospital. Here, up, down, and across like that. It's going to take up 2 units. Guys, this break tells me whatever your first interval is, there's nothing below it. Okay? Because like I said, if you did not put a break, you're going to have to go 0 through 9, 10 through 19, 20 through 29 to get to 40 to 49. You can't start with 40 to 49. All right, it's not close enough to 0. All right, next. How many are left here? How many spots do I have left open here for the x-axis? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. For how many intervals? For about 6. So what do you think? About every 2, we'll put an interval. The intervals have to be the same length. If you go every 2, it's got to be every 2. If you go every 1, it's got to be every 1. So what I'm putting down here, 1, 2, and that's going to be 40 to 49. And I won't squeeze it in there. We'll go like this, 40 to 49. Meaning the next one's got to be a length of 2. Next one, length of 2. And your frequency's got to go from what? 0 to 8. Do I need a break on the y-axis? No, because one of my values is 0, and one other value is 1, so I don't need a break there. All right, so how many spots do I have on the y-axis? I think if we go by 1s, we'll be all right. I don't think we can go by 2s, though. I don't think we'll have enough room. What's that? Yeah, so we'll go by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, how many were at 40 to 49? 3. So again, I draw my bar up to 3. There it is. What about 50 to 59? 8, but remember it's connected. It's connected, so all I do is I go up to 8 now. Up to 8. Boom, up to 8. 6. Whoop. Going over and down, 6. 2. I'm going to have a gap because it's 0, and then I go to 1. Every single bar should be as wide as the next one. Okay? And then some of you guys making it look cute by coloring it in, sure. Have at it. Okay, color that sucker in. Looks beautiful. Perfect histogram right there. Questions from you guys? Anything on the histogram? All right, 2 more. And I think we'll go maybe to Regents. I don't know. Back to the dot plot. Back to the dot plot. How many households have 3 devices capable of showing a video on them? So these are, remember, what's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. represent? Number of screens. Okay, those are the number of screens. So how many houses have 3 devices capable of showing video on them? Okay, how many households have 3 here? I just want to make sure you can read it correctly. What are we looking at? 22. How many households have 3? Where'd you get it? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of households. Okay. Good? We okay reading that? Because remember, these numbers represent the number of screens, so we're looking for 3 screens. 3 screens right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Yep. I guess they would have to put at least 3 then. Have 3 and 3 only. I think, yeah. You got a point though, Tom, right? 3 and 3 only. Yep. And also, it's not one of my multiple choices either. Yeah. More households have 4 devices than any other number. Which of the following is closest to the percent that have 4 devices? All right, well, first of all, how many have 4 devices? 13. How many have 4 devices? How many? Okay. We're looking at more households had 4 devices to watch than any other number, obviously by the dot plot. Which of the following is closest to the percent that have 4 devices? So all I want to know is how many houses have 4 devices? I don't even want to get into the percent yet. So according to the dot plot, how many have 4? 8 houses, right? I'm going to do percent. So it's 8 out of, how many did we say? You don't have to count them. It's up at the beginning. How many houses did I survey? So 8 out of 30 houses have 4 devices. And then you guys know how to, you get that on a test. You know how to find out what the percent's going to be. And it's about what? 27%? We okay there? Okay. Oh, yeah, he put some Regents questions in. This is the one, not the new one, the one we are on this week. The one that should be finished for today. All right, so go with the one we're on this week. Not the one you got today. What is this, January 2016? Yep. I picked this one on purpose because this was not one of our favorites when we did it in the parabola unit. Doing all right, yeah. Yeah. Freshman. For now. Everyone at 33? Olivia, you're killing me. Let's go. This organization. All right, here we go. Actually, I'm going to ask a couple more questions here. This parabola, negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80, is it going to open up or down? Why down? Negative a value, so it's going to open down. Yep. T represents the time in seconds. Determine the number of seconds it takes to achieve the maximum height. All right, and I know some of you would probably go to the graphing calculator, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it because 80 and 64 are pretty big. It's going to go off the screen. Anybody remember what's involved to find the number of seconds and also the maximum height of this one? What's involved? It has a name. Come on. Yes, the number of seconds will be your axis of symmetry. All right, so just make a couple notes here. That's the number of seconds that'll attain it. Does anybody remember what you do with that to find the maximum height? Plug axis of symmetry back into the formula. I know it's not asking for both, but I just want you guys to make sure you get both down. Okay, what was the axis of symmetry again? X equals, oh boy. Oh boy. B value. B value, come on now. 64, but when I plug it in, negative 64 over 2 times negative 16. All right, how long will it take to reach its maximum height? It's going to take how many seconds? $29, how many seconds? 2 seconds. All right, that's yes, Matt. You could also put it in your table and see when it reaches, yes. Make sure you write that. Make sure if you do it that way, though, on the Regents, you actually show your table screen and say, all right, circle it and say, okay, here's where it is. Okay, and again, how could I find what the I'm not going to because I'm not asked, but how could I find the maximum height? Plug it back in, store it, and then plug it back in. Whatever number comes out, that's the maximum height it reaches. We all good before we get to the tougher one, which is this last part. What's the interval in seconds during which the height of the object decreases? Hey, what'd you tell me? Up or down this parabola? Up or down opens? Yikes. Can you tell where it's decreasing up here? Read it left to right. Does everyone see where it's decreasing? I'll highlight it for you. From this point all the way to here, all the way down. Do we know what the time is right here? What did we just figure out, guys? What was the height right here? What was the time right here? 2 seconds. Everyone agree? 2 seconds to what? Because it's not infinity. Sooner or later, this sucker's going to hit the ground. Anybody remember how I find out when it hits the ground? We could do that. We could, yep. I don't want to. Go ahead, everyone. Go to your calculator then. That's fine. I told you the calculator would give you points. Go ahead, plug in the equation. Negative 16x squared plus 64t. And you graph it. I just told you you're never going to see most of it, but you'll see where it comes down, right? Where's it hit the ground? AKA your x-axis. Everyone take a look at your x-axis. Where's it hit the ground? Everyone take a look, take a look, take a look at your graph. It's going to hit the ground after how many seconds on the x-axis? Here you go, 3. What's the graph say? From what to what? From 5 seconds, it'll hit the ground, right? Do you see why it's not going to infinity? Because eventually it's going to hit the ground and stop. So what is the time interval it's going to decrease then? 9. What's the time interval it'll decrease? 2 to 5. Okay, 2 to 5. How do I write that? I guess we could write it out in words. It says state, right? But I want to do notation too. Notation. Anybody help me in notation? Okay, hold on. Less than x, less than 5, or t, excuse me. Okay, anybody know why I'm not putting the or equal to with it? Because look at 2, it's just there, right? It's not decreasing, so I'm just leaving it like that. Or just write it out in words, that's fine. Okay, make those graphs neat tonight, please. Make those graphs neat. I'll be here today, too, if you want to build up any more points.